Hi, welcome to another new video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing watercolors from Thailand. So we all know about watercolors from Japan, Korea, USA, Europe. It's quite rare to actually see a paint that's made in somewhere other than those countries. The dot cards was sent to me by V, the person behind Paint in Hiding. I'll link to her Instagram account and her YouTube channel in the description box below. She does quite a lot of reviews of watercolor paints. So she sent this to me. It's a set of dot cards that she prepared herself, right? So she actually printed it, the dot card herself. And this watercolor is made by Silpakorn Colors. And this is the Wichitrong artist series. So they have artist grade and student grade. So Wichitrong is the artist grade. So you can get this from CW Art, and there's a series of 24 colors. They do give all the information. So they have things like light fastness, transparency, the name of the pigment, of the color, the paint, the pigments used. So they do have quite a range of colors. And it's all available in 8 mils. Paint in Hiding, she sent me quite a generous amount of paint for 8 colors. And the colors are Azo Yellow, PY154, Burnt Sienna, PBR7, Permanent Red, PR254, Rose Madder, PB19, Ultramarine Blue, PB29 plus PB28, very interesting. Cerulean Blue, PG50 plus PB28, interesting. Phthalo Blue, PB15:3, and Phthalo Green, PG7. So these are very standard colors. I think she knows what she's doing. That's why she sent all these very common but standard colors that people would need. And in fact, with this, you can actually do a painting. So this is what I did with the colors over here. Okay, with this amount. So can you imagine? I could actually paint with a dot card. Okay, so let's just kind of go through my conclusion. First and foremost, it is affordable, very affordable. It costs 65 to 105 Thai baht. So in USD, it's like 190 to 3 for 8 mils. So you know how expensive. Like normally a tube of paint for 5 mil will cost about $8 already. So this is very affordable. And when I received the paint, I must say that it feels different from the kind of dot cards that you normally receive. I've tried so many different dot cards and most of them are kind of hardened. Once they kind of dry up, they become hard. But the Wichitrong, can you see? It feels to me that texture a little bit, can you see it's a bit sticky? That's why she had to put like a plastic sleeve or like kind of over it. So it feels to me like a mission gold. You feel like the mission gold texture, like creamy, sticky texture. So it might not dry in a pan. I'm not sure because I don't have a pan of it. I think there is something, some kind of humectant that's included. I can't really smell if there's honey, but there's definitely some humectant that's added. So I find it's creamy. The texture is creamy and it's very easy to re-wet. So I only need a very little bit of that pigment. So a little bit goes really a long way. Colors provided to me are transparent and semi-transparent colors, so they are really very, you can actually see the lines underneath the ink and wash. And the light fastness, I think they are all 3 stars over here. I kind of prepared it on my own, which is why it took me a while. I actually received this paint several months back, but it took me a while to get this done because I wanted to do the light fast. So this is after 2 months of putting this side at the sun in a window with the sunlight, and this was kept in the cabinet. So you could actually see that most of them do kind of perform well, except Rose Madder. So I believe Paint in Hiding also had a previous video and she showed like in 3 months she had like a discoloration for Rose Madder. So this is what I saw for Rose Madder as well. But the other colors are actually fine. Like you can see that the vibrancy is there and they kind of retain that in after 2 months in the sun. Okay, so that's about the light fastness. And when we look at the lifting, as I think this really follows the pigment that's used in the color. So if it's for example Azo Yellow, Burnt Sienna, Ultramarine Blue, Cerulean Blue, these are easier to lift out. But things like the phthalo colors and the quinacridone, they are more difficult to remove. Because according to the pigment information for these kind of pigments, the organic small molecules, they tend to stick on and it's difficult to remove. So that's kind of true. And interestingly, when you look at the paint, and water interaction, you could see that especially for the burnt sienna, there is a very nice separation. You can actually see the black particles, bigger black particles, and then the smaller brown, light brown that kind of diffuses around it. And also you can see this from the ultramarine blue, where you can see that the probably a PB28, the lighter blue goes around, and you see that darker PB29 dropping inside. And the same for the cerulean blue. But I do kind of note that for cerulean blue and ultramarine blue, they do a mixture, which is kind of, it's not very common. It's not a standard practice because, you know, normally for ultramarine blue, normally it would be a single pigment color, PB29. So I don't know why they added cobalt blue to it. Maybe they want to adjust the color so that it is a lighter, maybe less warm. It could be that they actually had a warmer pigment, like a bag of PB29. So I don't know. It could be that. Cerulean blue also is a mixture. In fact, it does not even contain PB35 or PB36. So it's a cobalt turquoise and also cobalt blue. Yeah, giving you the cerulean blue. Yeah, but it's quite a nice hue though. It does look quite close and quite nice. If you compare these paints, I do like the burnt sienna a lot, and also the ultramarine blue. They are pretty. The separation makes it look interesting, quite nice. There's some granulation, so if you notice over here, they didn't provide the granulation information, but from the swatch, you can actually see burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, phthalo green. It's kind of granulating, although you can actually see some particulate matter. But the perm red, the rose madder, and the phthalo blue, they are definitely non-granulating. You don't see any single like grain of granulation in them. And when I did a mixture, I find it very hard to control the amount of phthalo blue and also the permanent red used. I tend to use, because they are very intense, like the payload is so high that a small amount that I use for the rest to kind of mix it, I tend to overuse them. But then again, it could be the issue with phthalo blue, because phthalo blue is blue and the permanent red, they're just so, the colors is just so vibrant. So just a note. So if you do have these two colors, use less of it when you mix, because can you see everything just kind of look very dark, very blue. And I'm quite surprised about like with how dark it can be. So this was with a single swipe. Like, yeah, I just kind of just took a bit and I just kind of mixed it, and I really could get a super dark tone. So very impressed with the color payload for some of these colors. Very intense, very vibrant colors, and when we mix them together, we can get a very dark, intense mixture. I mixed this with the mixtures that I made for doing the mixture part of it section. So I didn't really take from here again. It's just really from that whatever is left on my palette. When I use the color on an ink and wash, so this is the Southern Moss in Singapore. I just took this from the Google map. And you can see the colors are transparent, you could actually see the lines, like really fine lines underneath. So very good for in ink and wash. I really quite like the colors here. And I think they're comparable to the artist grade colors. I think even, it feels to me, the texture feels like Mission Gold. So it's like I would say it's like a dupe for Mission Gold. But unfortunately, I don't think they ship globally. So you may kind of just write to them and tell them, hey, do you want to sell to ship to other countries? They might consider if they get a bigger order. So that's something that you can consider. If not, if you're going to Thailand, if you're going to Bangkok, yeah, you can go and buy them. Maybe they are in retails, or you can get them to send that to your hotel. Because of the affordability, it will be really good for people who are kind of trying out with watercolors to just kind of buy a set to try. Because if you get 8 colors, and if it's like maybe $1.90 for one tube, you $16 and you have 8 mils. That's like a lot. Okay, I don't think they have anything in pan, because I believe that the colors are very creamy, so the formulation has to be something has to be done for the formulation for that to be kind of made into a pan, and without it kind of like leaking after you ship it out. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I really thank V from Paint in Hiding for sending me this set of watercolor. It's interesting to actually see local or like more Southeast Asian, non-European, non-Japanese, Korean colors. So hopefully in the future we'll see something from Singapore. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see similar content. I hope to see you in the next video, and bye-bye.